As I mentioned, I was in second year of university when I bought that first property. I was studying chemical engineering at the University of Queensland and living at home with mum, bless her cotton socks, and also my sister, who was 2 years younger than me, as I mentioned. And she encouraged me to buy the apartment. We spent 9 months shopping for it. It was a long process. And eventually we found an apartment that the agent had not been able to sell, and it was heavily discounted. And after I got settlement, I realised why. When I finally got to go inside it without any of the tenants' furniture, it was because it was really ugly. It had brown ceilings, brown walls, brown carpets, run down everything. And I actually spent a fair bit of my time in tears for those first couple of days wondering what I'd bought. And I'm sure plenty of people have had that kind of buyer's remorse. But of course, ugly properties are cheap properties. So I learned something then. My friends and even some of my lecturers at university thought I was crazy, and I couldn't understand how someone in their second year of university who wasn't working full time and didn't really have any history of assets behind them could afford to buy a property and how the bank would approve it. And of course the answer was that I was able to sublet the second room. I got in a student to share with me, and the rent that I received from that student was only $25 less than the mortgage repayment each week. And given that it would have cost me $100 a week to move into a share house just to get a room, and that's before power, electricity, gas, food, transport, it was obviously much more affordable to own the property and sublet it. So that was how I managed to get into that first property. And I'm really glad that I did, because had I waited a year, I would have had to pay twice as much for that property. I just happened to get in when the property market was flat. So thank my lucky stars that I won that ovarian lottery and was born to my mum, and she encouraged me to do that. From there, I kept learning about property. I was very interested in it, and after having my father help me renovate that property, and he's a builder, so it was quite helpful. We got it done for under $6,000, putting in a new bathroom, changing the floors, painting over all that brown, and putting carpets in the bedrooms and new curtains, which made it a wonderful place for me to live, and I was very happy there for 2 years. As I said, I kept looking at the property market, and after graduating from chemical engineering and I moved straight away to Western Australia to take a job in Kalgoorlie, I started buying more properties, and every couple of years I would buy another property. And I never had to save a big amount for the deposit again because of the equity I had built up. I also made it a priority to pay down some of the debt. Because I had a great income at the time, the debt was coming down pretty fast. I also managed to keep living like a student for quite a long time. I don't have expensive taste. I'm quite happy with casual clothes. I don't need nice shiny handbags, and I don't need an expensive car. And not needing things like that means that you have more money. And so you can put that money into things like your debt and your assets, and things just grow. It's the joy of time, the great equalizer.